Hi everybody, this is the Baseball HUD, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the people's champion, your host, the HUD, and of course, please subscribe to the Baseball HUD if you haven't already, and like the video, and leave comments. We've had a lot of comments here today because of this whole thing with this proposed trade. Now, a little update, the trade is dead, thankfully. This trade's not going to take place. The trade was going to be, the Mets were going to trade Dom Smith to the San Diego Padres for Eric Hosmer, Chris Paddack, the starter, and a pitcher named Pagan, EMILIO Pagan. And this trade was going to come down, and the Mets were also going to get $25 million. Or the Mets were going to only have to pay $25 million on the contract to Hosmer. I was not for this trade under any circumstances. I didn't think this was a good trade for the Mets. Now, I'm not a big Dom Smith fan, but you cannot take 4 years back in return for Hosmer. A couple things about Hosmer. I was going through him. I don't know. I was looking at, just curious, a couple months ago, looking on Baseball Reference. He's got one of the lowest wins above replacement for an everyday player that I have seen, especially for a first baseman. It's not even over 20. And also, I've read today that his defensive skill has declined a little bit. And I saw pictures of him a couple weeks ago. It got a little heavy. So he's probably got very slow-footed. He's not moving well, around the bag. People talk about how good of a defensive player he is. I'm not a big fan of his. Never was. And this doesn't do with what happened in 2015. It has nothing to do with 2015. I just didn't like him. I was not a big fan of this trade. So I'm glad the Mets that the Mets backed out of this trade. I guess the Mets were going back and forth on this for the last few days. It just wasn't just today. It just got out today. But I was not a big fan of this move, and I'm glad that they did not make this move. It was not going to be a trade that would have been benefited the Mets under any circumstances. And Paddack is not that good that he would have made a big difference here with the Mets. He's a bit of a project now. He's not a slam dunk as a pitcher. So the Mets really needed to be very smart about a trade with the, for a starting pitcher. Obviously, they have starting pitching issues now. Grom's going to be out for probably at least in the middle of the season. Scherzer has a bit of a hamstring issue. I don't think that's going to hurt him all that much long term. But starting the season, and I'm not a big fan of Carrasco. I don't know how much he has left. So I know that the Mets were talking about just learning from stuff during the day. This has less to do with the Grom than anything else. But this was not a good trade. It was just not a good trade. From what I understand, also that the Mets are still kind of talking about other trades. So maybe there are other things out there. Manaea is still out there, but I don't know if the A's are going to move him yet. The A's said that they were not really, well, the rumor was the A's weren't really moving him or Montez anytime soon, that they were kind of off the table, but we'll see. I know the Mets need bullpen help. Maybe they can trade Dom Smith for a bullpen piece. It seems like Dom doesn't want to be here unless he's playing every day and playing first. So the Mets might have an issue now with him, especially with this trade coming down. The rumor is that he doesn't want to be here if he's not playing every day and at his position. His feeling is that he thinks he's proven enough as a player, which I don't believe that he's an everyday player. I don't know about that. He's not proven to be healthy over the course of a season. So there's still a lot of question marks about him as a player. And I don't think there's really any place for him right now. He's not an everyday outfielder. He's not going to be the first baseman on this team. And he has must have other options there on the bench. I don't know where he fits. So they're going to have to figure out what to do with him. He's the most obvious guy to get moved. The Cubs are looking for a first baseman. The A's are looking for a first baseman. Obviously, at some point, Hosmer's going to get dealt. And if he gets dealt, they're going to want a first baseman. So maybe the Mets can revisit something with the Padres. But we'll have to see and figure that out. But the Mets are going to be active this last week. There have been a lot of talks about players signing extensions, all these young guys. The Yankees made a move a little while ago. They picked up a catcher. So there's going to be some moves over the next couple of days. So some teams are ready to look at their teams critically and say, you know what, we need a little help here, we need help there. Mets need more starting pitching. They could use another bat in their lineup. It's not on the bench. And, of course, they need a little bit of bullpen help, quite frankly. I'd like to see them bring in another lefty, but we'll see how this all shakes out 5 days before the opening day of the 2022 season. So let me know what you think about this video. Please subscribe to the Baseball Hut. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.